It's time for The Shelf. Whangārei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio.
Kia ora everyone, this is The Shelf, Whangārei District Libraries Radio. We're here at 116 with Beagle Radio, and just here to tell you a bit about the library, Whangārei, what's going on, and some inside look. Cool.
Yeah, kia ora everyone, Glenn with you here, and DJ Orchid in the house beside me.
Yeah, and what's your DJ name, Glenn?
Well, I'm going to go with Goose. I'm going to be DJ Goose. Of course, if we're talking about our actual names and then DJ names, that's totally confusing, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm warming to calling myself a DJ name. I haven't blossomed into my name like DJ Orchid has.
That's a good one. Yeah. Well, that just came off, kind of just fiddling around and trying to make an album with a friend one late night. So,
really?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
Yeah. I think it's just not making the music, but coming up with the ideas for the songs and how it would all work together and what the album covers would look like. And
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Getting a little bit into it, so.
That's a cool idea. So you never made the music, just the concepts for all the albums?
Yeah, just the concepts.
Brilliant.
Probably be a mix of poetry and then natural sounds like birds and whatever you can find in your garden, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really far out. And has anything ever come of this?
Not yet. But I'm going to see this friend this weekend, so who knows? Maybe it just, grows a little bit more.
Well, as I say,
in the orchid garden.
From seed to flower.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Well, I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
See what happens on live radio. Yeah.
I'll keep updating you.
We encourage everyone to come in and do live radio because you learn stuff about each other.
You do.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of nice. Yeah.
Cool. Well, as DJ Orchid said, we're going to be talking about some stuff to do with the library and what's happening in the library, what's been happening. Stuff coming up also on 116. We're hoping we're going to be joined later on by Laurel from 116, promoting a show that's coming. So lots coming up in the next hour. Yeah. We've got some music as well, an interview with the library staff member.
Yep.
But we're going to kick it off, am I right, with a bit of poetry.
Ba-da-ding. Let's do it.
Yeah. So we've been having a poetry competition. We
have a whole poetry month at the library. That's been pretty cool. I didn't get my own poem up there, did you?
No. I didn't. I know other staff did.
Yeah.
Some great poems about their pets, actually.
Yeah. And Glenn writes songs, but you don't write poems?
No, I don't. No.
True.
Well, I have in the past, but I haven't for a long time. What's the difference? Well, they're pretty similar, I would think, except songs, the words I'm coming up with more fit the music. So they kind of always fit into kind of some patterns, often with if you've got a chorus or something like that, whereas a poem can have quite different formats.
Different flow.
I think.
Maybe no background track.
Well, that typically no, because then you've got a song, don't you? Yeah. Maybe. Well, I don't know. You put me on the spot here. I don't know the answers to this. Yeah. Hey, but we had a poet tree set up in the library, and it was a competition. Not really, but it was a chance for people to put poems up in celebration of Poetry Month.
Yeah, and poetry. Creative Northland is celebrating them by, Glenn chose a couple yesterday, and we're going to read out some for you. Yeah,
we've got some poems we're going to read. So I'm going to start here with a poem, and you can read one after me. We'll take some turns. We'll read some poems out. This one is called I'm a Sad Bin. It's been written by Isabel, age 10. I'm a sad bin. I'm a sad bin made from tin, stuck with the town's biggest bully. It's the plastic bad, Goldie, killing all the turtles and whales. And what can I do? Nothing. I thought that was quite cool.
Yeah, I love that.
It wasn't very well read, but it was a cool poem.
No, it was. I've read that before. I really love that one.
I mean, I'm criticising me here for reading it badly. All right, here's another one from a 10-year-old called Jimmy. The monster under my bed.
Ooh.
There's a monster under my bed. He is quite greedy. He has been properly fed. But my mum doesn't believe me. My brother saw it, and he thought it was quite creepy. So I told my mum again, but she still doesn't believe me. My sister saw it and said, "Can I have a feel?" But all my mum said was, "Monsters aren't real."
Wow, Bucky for that one. Sounds like a storybook. It could be a
Oh,
children's
totally
book,
could be a storybook, yeah. Children's book. It's very cool. I enjoyed that one. Thank you, Jimmy. Here's another one. This one's by Holly, age 6. It's called Cereal. When you wake in the morning, you dress and wake Dad, and you feel a little hungry. You go get some crunchy cereal, a bowl, a spoon, and the milk. Then you do your jobs. Then you go out to play on the grass with your tummy full of cereal with grains.
I love that. Is that the end?
That's
wow.
it, yeah. Isn't that cool about cereal?
You end up on the grass. That's a lovely morning.
Have you got a couple you'd like to read?
Yeah. So was that an age group or was that just...
So all those poems were written by children 10 and under.
Oh, cool. Well, I've got the next age group, I guess. This is 11 to 18 years. And this first one is called High Above. And it is written by Annalisa. High Above. The sky is such an interesting, tiny thing. It's vast and expansive. We'll never see the end. Yet, when I see it, I can't think of what to say. Yes, it is unrivaled in beauty. Yes, it is. Delicate puffs of clouds drift in it, they do. But the words escape me. When the sun shines through blooming trees, and when the sunrise turns pink, even when it rains, when it storms, when it rages, and when it's calm, the sky is forever and on. Wow.
Very nice.
Gorgeous.
That's good, wasn't it?
I love looking up at the clouds and seeing all the different shapes. Should we go for another one?
Great, yeah, let's do it.
Cool. This one is called The Stinky Young Lady. Ooh. And it is by Millie. There was a young lady who walked on a path, and as she walked, she had a really great laugh. But she really stank and smelt really rank, because she never liked having a good bath. And there's flies buzzing around.
Yeah, I mean, some of these poems are surrounded like that one with an actually excellent picture, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful picture. I think there's there's this lady walking down this path with some flies around her, but there's also a dead bug on the path behind her and a butterfly that's fallen out of the sky.
Oh no, taken out by the smell perhaps.
I think so. And the third one we have here.
Yeah, go for it.
It's called Dave Dalmatian Saves the Day. And this is by Tutterwickens. Dave Dalmatian was a brave fire dog fellow. He wore fireman clothes of red and yellow. When trouble was around, he would say, "Dave Dalmatian will save the day." He jumped into his fire truck of white and red and drove to the rescue right ahead. He saw a fire heading for a great big tree, and he blasted water with his hose on 1, 2, 3. The fire was out, and the people of the town all would say, "Dave Dalmatian has saved the day." Wow.
Good old Dave Dalmatian. I think that was written by Tara.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Tara. I feel like
Cool.
that could be a storybook too.
Awesome. Should we try one more? I'm a little bit conscious that we're reading these pretty much cold, aren't we? So, having not really read them through before. But,
that's what you mean by cold. Yes.
well, no, it's actually quite warm in here, isn't it? It's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah.
But no disrespect to the poets, but it's fun reading them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one is by Sarah. There's no age on this, so let's assume that Sarah is an adult because Sarah has ticked the adult box. Cool. This is called How Not to Die. Hold out your hand and feel your skin on my skin. Rub at the jaggy bit of nail I forgot to bite off and the torn place where you burnt your thumb. Smell the ripeness of a scarlet persimmon, wood smoke, mown grass, and the warm deliciousness of fresh cake. Listen to the birds. Watch a rainbow shimmer and fade. Taste the first coffee, the last wine, the salt in the long breeze, the sweetness of rain. Know that the droughts, the floods, the fires, the plagues will keep on coming, and we can still hold hands.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty awesome, that one.
That is beautiful.
Thank you, Sarah.
Connection gets us through, Sarah. I understand. That's lovely.
Awesome. Well, that was some of the poems. We got heaps of entries into this. I'd say somewhere approaching 100 poems on the tree. So if you want to come and read the poems, there's lots there.
Yeah.
And they're all there to be read. The display will be up in the library for another week at least, I would say. Be ashamed to take it down. It looks real cool.
Yeah. Please come climb the tree. Be careful, but, you know.
Yeah. Come climb the tree and read the poems.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Hey, should we go from those poems into a song?
I think so. Let's do it. This is my choice this afternoon. It's Bjork, which I hope you know. And if you don't, here is Possibly Maybe. Cool.
Back with the library on Beagle Radio.
And we've been joined by Laurel.
Hey, Laurel. Shout hi.
Hello.
Lovely.
Hello, Whangārei and the world.
Yeah.
Laurel, you're on 88.1 FM.
Yes.
Broadcast all around a central area of Whangārei, around the world on www.beagleradio.co.nz, and hopefully podcast through the library.
Woohoo.
Imagine that.
God, I'm so famous already.
Totally
Great.
famous.
Do you know Bjork, Laurel?
Yes.
Were you enjoying the Bjork song? Is that what you were wildly
Yes,
dancing
wiggling.
outside the studio?
Yes, I just sensed a bit of a Bjork vibe.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
You didn't
yeah.
hear it?
No, but I've sensed
Get
it.
out.
See it in your eyes.
That's wild.
I
Okay.
know.
Well, we were just reading some cool poems from the poet, and there are some more because you're good at.
I'd love to read some.
Okay, well,
Cool.
should we do it now?
Yep.
How about what we could do? Just because we do have a list of a bit of a plan. We could just have a quick chat about what we're. Some things that have been going down in the library, and maybe a little bit later on we'll get you to read some poems. We might even show you the poems first so you can look over them.
Great. Yes.
But Zana, you were going to tell us a little bit about the Flash writers.
I was just going to mention that off the poems. It hasn't happened yet in the library, but it is coming. It opened today, so it's called Changing Landscapes Anthology, and it's a part of the Whangārei Library 3.30 Flash Writers Group, which meets up at the library, and I think it's once a month. And it's just a group that writes together Flash fiction, and they are calling out for submissions for your best and most brilliant 300-word Flash or 100-word micro-fiction stories for their second anthology, set to launch on the 25th of November. and that is open to Northland adults and young riders 12 to 18 years. So not including me or you, Glenn. Or Laurel.
I just miss out just narrowly, but yeah.
But yeah, for all the 12 to 18-year-olds out there, so they're open today, and it ends on the 30th of September. So I guess you've got a whole month coming into spring to write, but there is a theme. So the theme is changing landscapes, which could come in with spring too, but it comes around rising temperatures, warming oceans, droughts and floods. So a lot about the climate, the changing of the climate. Tell your stories about people and places, let your imagination run wild. There's a couple of boundaries, which is the 300 words or less, or the micros are 100 words or less, and the deadline, 30th September. So
sounds good. Apparently we have quite a strong writing community in Whangārei and Northland, so
cool.
Hopefully there's lots of people out there that will get into that competition.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Please.
And maybe we talked about wanting to read out stories on the radio. We should talk to them and say, hey, look, we'd love to read out a selection. Actually maybe even read them beforehand, before we go live on Air Zana, so we actually can know what we're reading.
Cool.
Be cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, that's good. We will do that. We'll look into that.
How are you and your kid going with Ronald Dahl?
Roll down. Well, actually, Lyra woke up. She was having a sleepover with my mum last night, the night before last, and she woke up in the middle of the night and said, "Snozcumber," and went back to sleep. So
wow.
She's
what books is that
still,
from? Snozcumber?
That is from the BFG. He eats snozcumbers, so it's obviously still like deeply
yes
in his
embedded.
subconscious.
Yeah, we haven't. What have we been reading? We've been reading a bit of Winnie the Pooh. Listening to we've been listening to Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
No, don't know that
I
one.
grew up with it, and it's about these rats that are in a factory, and they're like being tested on, but they become really super intelligent, and the scientists don't know, and they learn how to read and kind of escape and come back at night. And they're really, it's from the rats' perspective.
Choice.
It's so cool.
Is it a chapter book?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a chapter book, and
Great.
there's a great audio book of it on Audible. Yeah,
cool.
Nice.
yeah.
Sounds good. I think to some extent children's books are amazing to read even as an adult.
100%.
Even picture books, right?
Yeah.
You have to read them over and over again because your kids like them, but some of the really good ones are just, you can read them over and over again and even find slightly different ways to change how you say it each time, and you go, oh, that's... A bad one read over and over is painful, but the good ones is great.
Absolutely, yes.
And how did your book, Fast Like a Girl? Was it Fast Like
Fast
a Woman?
like a girl. Fast
Oh yes,
like a
I was
girl.
going to ask you, are you still fasting?
I'm still fasting. I mean, I'm not fasting all the time, and I'm a complete convert.
Have you slowed down on the fasting?
It's just that this book kind of suggests that you don't do it all the time. It's kind of with your rhythm. So, I did a 40-hour fast, which was epic, but I felt so good and energized from it.
Were you quite sedentary, still during the days, or were you in a work
just
busy
my
day?
normal life, but it was the afternoon of the day the full day that I didn't eat, I was a bit tired, but I felt really good. I'm a total convert for it, so I managed to stick to it.
Wow, so it's got to be a month or 6 weeks ago you were just getting into it.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not doing it all the time, but I'm just kind of doing it a bit.
And what was the first thing you ate?
That's a great question.
Do they kind of guide you towards it? Maybe fruit or
I think kind of vegetables and protein.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was doing some scrambled tofu, maybe with some spinach. Sort of thing.
Nice. We could even we're just extending the mic a bit.
Yeah.
Big robot
I think that one may be unplugging a little bit as we go, but I can hear you again.
Have you guys been reading? Have you guys gone over your current reading?
No, we haven't. No, but I do have some music books I was going to share later on.
Oh,
Just
cool.
like I just went through and started picking out some of the music biographies that I've read from the library. What about, are you reading anything,
I'm
Sana?
actually listening. I'm reading a lot, but that just all circulates around. But I've got into listening to books as I fall asleep. Yeah, so I've got Alice in Wonderland. That's just from Spotify. But I got a disc book out from the library today. So that's gonna be the first time.
A CD, one on CDs.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And I got a non-fiction from the adult section, and there's also a section in the teen section. So, yeah, I got How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan. Do you know that one?
Nope.
Oh, it's, well,
Is it a self-helpy type book? Or is it a novel?
in a realm. Oh, no, he's a speaker. He's a researcher, into the realm of, many cool things. So,
Including, presumably, How to Change Your Mind.
How to Change Your
I'll write
Mind.
it down.
Yeah. Well,
sounds
I've got
good.
it right over there, actually, on the
Okay.
seat.
Okay, great.
But,
Oh, did I move it?
well, you might have. Oh,
Oh, you've brought them with you.
yeah, well, I'm taking
So
them on a
organised.
drive. So, How to Change
Oh,
Your Mind.
have you got a CD player in your car? This
I
is where you're
do.
intending to listen to them.
Lucky me,
Oh,
yeah.
great. You should definitely. These will surely be hitting the bench, the table of stuff that the library doesn't want anymore soon. Won't
Oh, well.
What, surely? Would they
Well,
be selling their
CDs
golf
are
at some
still
point?
quite popular with a subset of, a lot of people still have CD players, but
Yeah. But we don't have much music CDs at the library, only in the Māori section.
we used to
so-
have quite a big collection of CDs,
Yeah.
but you know
Got
how
chucked out.
most people don't tend to
Yeah.
use CDs
Yeah.
anymore.
I do, sometimes long drives, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just want to listen to a whole album. And actually, I got kicked off my family Spotify account, so
Oh,
I'm back on the...
but rough.
Yeah, I know. Big heartbreak of the week, but yeah,
So it's forced you onto CDs.
It's forced me onto CDs, but yeah, I'm looking to reach out, and who knows?
Mm.
I've been listening to The Travelling Restaurant, which don't know who the author is. I'll look it up in a minute. I think it's a children's book. It's like Morris G type vibes, and my dad read it on Radio New Zealand years ago, and it's so good. Yeah, audiobooks read well, so I could just listen to them for hours.
I read a picture book in the library for Conservation Week. I think it's one by Joy Cowley. It's about a river going to the sea. And your dad, Stuart Deviney, he read it for the library. Remember a few years ago
we got
we recorded
together.
some.
Yes.
And so it was an incredible thing to see your dad pick up this book and just do this amazing read. But when I was reading it to the kids, I was sort of channeling your dad, because I'd had to edit this video. I must have listened to it 10 times. I don't have the same gravelly, nice, rich
Yeah.
voice as your dad, but it's like, oh, yes, I can remember the way he enunciated certain words. It was good.
Yeah, and the pace of it, he just gets character so well, eh?
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Actually, when I was little, he went away to work in Wellington, and we were living in Christchurch, and I was missing him, and he would send cassette tapes of Dr. Dolittle. He would every week he'd like record chapters on either side, and then every week he'd send me the next tape of it, and I've
Oh.
still got them. I still just takes me back to the
Wow.
time, because he was so good at all the Dr. Dolittle characters, and yeah, it's
Fantastic.
such a neat thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And you have a cassette tape player?
Yes, I still have a cassette tape player.
Nice.
yeah.
Hold on to those things. I think it's really cool to
Yeah,
keep it in the realm.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. Hey, that was we started talking there about the flash writing, which
Yeah.
looks like a cool thing. Maybe this would be a good time to talk about space. So we've had this amazing Otago Museum space exhibition in the library for the past 2 weeks. Maybe a couple of thousand people came through to look at it, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And the 4.5 billion year old meteorite was popular. The machine separating hydrogen and oxygen out of water, that was amazing. View of all the space junk, all the stuff in our atmosphere was mind-blowing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that beautiful physical example of the moon, the sun, and and the earth. It really helped me understand.
Yeah.
Right.
that.
And it demonstrated, like, yeah, it's interesting how you see a model of something, you go, oh.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it was the hydrogen and oxygen separation. I found that just, it was like, what?
Yeah.
And how
but
could they do it just right there? Like, I thought it was such a
I thought it was, yeah, I know.
technical thing.
So it was cool. And I loved how, and the one you're talking about, Laurel, how the Earth tilts towards the sun during summer and away in winter, and how that gives us the seasons. Just the demo of that was good.
Wow.
But you've got a show coming up
Yeah, we've got it
in
the October school holidays, so it's the last 4 days of the school holidays, the 5th to the 8th of October. And there's heaps of sessions for this show. It's an interactive theatrical event, really. I saw it in Te Papa. It was at Te Papa for about 4 months in the International Arts Festival there, and now they're kind of taking it inside theatre. So this is the first time they're doing it in a theatre.
So it's going to be at 116.
It's going to be at 116, and it's like basically the whole audience is on a spaceship in Mars, and they kind of have this Mars mission control experience. They've all got iPads, and you're kind of having to problem solve space problems. And there's a it's obviously set in the future, and there's a actor who's kind of a crew member with you, and so. Yeah, it's really neat. It's really interactive. It's a great experience, and it's $6 each, or group of 4 for $20. So it's really accessible, and there's lots of sessions for it. So
what's the age target for that?
7+. But I have to say, we took Lyra when she was 3 at Te Papa last year, and she still really enjoyed it. But so I reckon probably like 5, 6 probably, but 7+ officially.
Cool. Well, that sounds fantastic. So we'll encourage everyone to come along. And one thing people can do, we're going to be giving away some tickets at the library school holiday programs, children's sessions and the tween sessions. So if you come along to the holiday program, there may be some little competition you have to do. I don't know how exactly, or it might just be spot prizes. Yes. But yeah, come along to the library if you want to be in to win for some tickets, if you want to be in to win some tickets. But like you say, it's pretty accessible at $6 a ticket too.
Yeah, come along, and it's a great kind of family event, like it's a fun thing to do with the whole family.
I saw some video of it. It looks pretty, is it quite intense?
Well, it is, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see. This is the first time it's in a theatre show as opposed to a theatre space as opposed to a room, but the projections are pretty beautiful. And there's lots of great soundtrack, so you really feel like you're going on a journey, and you've got to solve some problems, otherwise something bad's going to happen. So it's a neat little kind of emotional roller coaster as you're trying to solve things.
Awesome. Well, I know what I'm doing in the October school holidays. That sounds great. So that's Mission to Mars. You can check out 116 website for all the details and to make ticket bookings, I'm guessing.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, you can make group bookings or individual ones.
Cool. And flyers and cool posters all around town. Nice. Hey, and what's happening tonight and tomorrow night here at 116?
Well, tonight I actually think he's on his way. He might just be walking through the door in a minute. Don McGlashan's playing tonight and tomorrow. Completely sold out, sadly, for anyone who missed out on the tickets. But it's going to be really neat to have Don McGlashan in the house.
Sure, same.
I'm feeling really excited about that.
The space looks really cool, set up.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a different setup than I've seen before.
Yeah, we actually, because there were a few more tickets sold than we were expecting, we've kind of thought this was the side version would squeeze a few more in. So then Scott's done some really nice things with the lighting. So yeah, it'll be a lovely show. But actually, if you did miss out, there's a really great show on Saturday, Borderline. It's an all ages gig, so it's not going to be alcohol, it'll be for all ages. Borderline's a up and coming band. They're about 19, 20. They played here earlier in the year for a kind of private event, and they're really good. They're a really great new band, and a couple of bands from Boys High and Girls High supporting them. But definitely like a great gig to come along to, however old
What
you
sort
are.
of, how would you describe Borderline?
Like indie pop. I don't. Gosh, I'm get bad with the genres.
There's
But-
some drums and guitars and
Yeah, some good, great vocals though. Like,
Mm.
I mean, for someone who I don't know a lot about music, but they're like really sharp and pro. And
Mm.
yeah, but we just thought we've had a couple of all ages gigs here in the last few months, and it's been so nice to have the place filled with teenagers and just
Yeah.
kind of have a pubby bar vibe, but without the alcohol.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
So heaps happening this week here.
that's right.
It's great having like a legend like Don McGlashan
Yeah.
and come to play here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's neat.
Great. Hopefully he'll come back again if he's had a good response.
Absolutely. It'd be good to see. We don't know. Yeah, it'd be good to understand where, like, what he heard about this space, because they just reached out. So, yeah, hopefully he has a nice time.
Cool.
Awesome.
That could lead into a Don McGlashan song.
It could do, yeah. Oh, yeah, we can search. You can search one up and find one.
Dear.
While we're queuing up a Don McGlashan song, we had an awesome multicultural day in the library on Saturday. Did you walk in on it?
No, Kate took Lyra unwittingly to it and had
Right.
a great time.
Yeah. So I wasn't there, but there was some sort of. I heard it was amazing, but there was a fashion parade of people in their different
Awesome.
ethnic costumes. Is that the right thing to say?
Yeah.
And then
There was food, there was dances and music, and people getting up in groups together, and it was super loud. There was a big group at the front of the library, and it kind of went, almost till we closed.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was put on by the multicultural Whangārei
yeah.
group.
Yeah.
So
Great.
it was a real success. Kind of something like that happened many years ago. So we've someone's got it up again running.
Great.
So it's I think they're keen to do it again. So
Oh, nice.
maybe a similar time next year.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. You just saw people mingling and talking together, and then another song would play. But yeah, everyone was just kind of coming around and
Oh,
meeting each
great.
other.
Yeah, it's cool to see lots of different people coming into the library space,
Yeah,
for different
yeah.
reasons. So yeah,
And multicultural Whangārei are so neat. They're actually doing supporting at the Latin American Film Festival here, which is
Yes.
happening over the next few months
Oh.
on particular days. But they're so active and great
Yeah.
community
that's cool,
members. Yeah.
brilliant. Well, should we, since Don McGlashan's nearly in the house, should we play a Don McGlashan song?
Yes. Look,
Does
I can
anyone
see the
have a-
camera rolling out there.
Wow.
There's a little
Oh,
doco
there's
being
a
made.
film crew. Oh,
Get
Laurel's
your
doing
rouge
it
out,
here.
get your
Laurel's doing
rouge
it
out,
here.
Queen. Come on.
Scroll down a bit, Zana. There's one of my. Let's play. Should we play that Front Lawn song?
Oh yes.
This one?
Yeah, that's this song is by the Front Lawn, which Don McGlashan was a part of in the 80s, I
Cool.
believe. This one's called Andy.
You sure missed one hell of a party last night.
All right, you're listening to The Shelf, a Beagle radio show about Whangārei libraries and talking about stuff that's happening in the library, Whangārei community, and 116. Here in the studio with DJ Orchid,
Yeah.
aka Zana, and Laurel from 116.
Laurel, do you have a DJ name?
Oh, I haven't thought of it. I'll come back to you.
Cool. Sweet.
And just to let you know, right at this particular moment, as we look out into the glass booth, through the glass booth, there's like glass windows in front of us, we're being filmed for something.
For a Don McGlashan documentary.
Wow.
Wow.
Totally famous. So if you're listening to us right now, you're kind of also on the documentary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Hmm.
We're going to lead on to a interview of the non-fiction librarian at our libraries. She's mostly at Central Library, and her name's Sally. And this is just kind of a little look in to what her journey's been like, and what it means to be a non-fiction librarian. Cool.
Cool. All right. Beagle Radio.
Kia ora, everyone. This is an interview with Sally, our non-fiction librarian here at the Whangārei Libraries. And I'm just going to ask Sally to introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Sally. I've been a non-fiction librarian at Whangārei Libraries for about, I think I got it in 2019, so coming up with my fourth year.
Oh,
Mm.
I thought you were here longer than that.
I have been here longer, but I only got into this position
Oh,
in 2019.
what were you doing before?
So before this, I was working in the team that basically works at the branches
Oh, okay.
and does all the kind of customer service type jobs.
Yeah.
So more on desk with the public than I am
So
now.
you were in my position, which I'm the
Yes.
outreach, and then you moved up into
Yes, I did.
moved along into
Yeah.
non-fiction.
Yeah.
Did you want to do that? Were you like,
I was definitely at the point where I needed a bit of a challenge, and yeah, I'd finished my diploma with the Open Polytechnic in Library and Information Studies, and I just needed a challenge.
were you studying part-time while working? Or-
Yeah, I started when my daughter was about 7, and I just chipped away at it. I did a paper a year,
Cool.
which was, I always did them in winter when it was horrible and
Yeah.
cold and rainy, and so I didn't mind studying so much. Yeah, so I just chipped away a paper a year until I got my diploma, and then just wanted to do something just less with the public all the
Yeah.
time.
Okay, yep. Yep.
And just a challenge.
Yeah, more just with the books. Get to know the books.
Mm-hmm.
What's your kind of like process as a non-fiction librarian? Like, day in the life
Oh, okay, yep.
of Sally. Gets to work.
Okay, so we have a really healthy budget here at Whangārei Libraries for buying books. So I spend a lot of time buying. So we have a supplier, and I go through. So we have all the books that are going to be published. I see what's coming out before they come out, and so I get to choose all of those, and I have to choose them so that each area in non-fiction is balanced.
Yeah.
And also I've got to meet the demand of the customers. So
Yeah.
if they're really into something like maybe sustainability or climate change or whatever, if there's a demand, then I'll buy more of that particular subject.
Right.
And the other thing I do is I get a lot of suggestions to buy from the public. So that's my priority. That's actually the first thing I do. So I will look at what they want. They send in a request, and then I'll go and I'll look at it and see if it's appropriate. Because some people want things that are a bit not really public library stuff. So maybe like more tertiary stuff like textbooks, or maybe it's just completely off the wall and it's not going to fly. So that's the first thing I really do, is the suggestions to buy. Then the selection. Then you look at stuff like weeding, when it's getting, which doesn't mean you're weeding the garden.
Yeah.
It means you're weeding the books. So you're getting rid of stuff that basically hasn't gone out for a long time or is old and grubby, where things are too chocker on the shelves, and you've got to, because you're buying all the time, so you've got to make room for the stuff that you're actually buying. And the other side of it is promotion. So just looking at ways to get people into the library and actually reading non-fiction.
Right.
And before I started this job, I only read fiction.
Okay.
Very rarely non-fiction.
Yeah.
And then as I started working in the library, I actually completely changed to non-fiction. Because there's just such amazing books out there. So I now very occasionally read fiction and mainly read non-fiction, because I see the books that are coming out. Oh, that's my favourite bit of the job.
Yeah.
Is
Seeing the books.
Seeing the new books come in and going, wow, that book is amazing, or that's actually, it's like having Christmas every day.
Yeah.
You come in, you see the books,
Yeah.
you're like, and you've forgotten what you've ordered because you could have ordered them like 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And so just seeing them come in, and I just get excited every time I
You don't get overwhelmed by the amount of...
No, not really. I mean, some of them I look at and go, and then others I'm just like, that book is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible what they put out these days. It's quite amazing. In terms of just like, if it's a combination of text and drawings or paintings or photos or whatever it is, I'm constantly amazed at like what comes out now.
And how did you learn to like... Was it difficult at all, because you're a fiction reader, going into non-fiction and then having to buy all these books for other people? How did you sort
the
of navigate
difficult
that?
bit is if you don't know the area that you're buying for. That's what I struggle with. So I have like anything I'm interested in, I find really easy. Like whether it be gardening or sociology, I really like. But if I have to buy for chemistry or maths, I'm like, I really don't know what this book is about, but that's okay, because I look at the reviews. I look at whether it's appropriate for a public library. So there's ways that I can suss it out, but it is, and I'm not really into sports. Okay. So that's another area I'm just like, who is this person? Yeah. Apparently they're really famous. I don't know who they Yeah. So that's a tricky bit. If you don't know the area, if you know the area, it's plain sailing. If you don't, like computers is another one. I'm not into tech, so computer tech, so it's always a bit of a struggle in those areas. But I try and do the right thing.
What about the spirituality section?
Yeah, that is very popular actually. That area, anything to do with spirituality, self-help,
meditation,
personal growth, that's really popular. Always buying in that area, always goes out. There's a little section I call the witchy poo section.
Okay, yeah. Oh, the witches, the herbs.
Yeah.
The spells.
Yeah, incantations and all that. That is really popular, which I was quite surprised with.
The crystals.
Yeah, crystals, tarot, numerology, all that stuff.
Wow.
So that's really popular, which I thought it would be semi-popular, but it's very popular.
I do see them come through returns. All the time. Yeah,
so that was quite interesting. And the religious section is not just Christianity, it's Buddhism, all the stuff, Islam, that goes out a lot. So
it's beautiful how inclusive we are. We've got so many subjects.
And it's quite interesting, something that you might think might not be popular actually is. You just never know until you get it in.
True.
Yep.
So what's popular at the moment? Is there any trends that are going around in the library? Anybody can
I think there's consistent trends. I think anything to do with the gardening, like which also is like the sustainability stuff. So like growing your own food, that trend back to going away from things that are processed and more into doing your own thing at home, growing vegetables, cooking your own food, having chooks and all that stuff is very much, which I think is great, to the fore. So it's actually like a backlash against everything that's processed, factory made. I reckon that's for the last, since I started the job, it's been really popular. Cooking is always, like, we buy so many cooking books and they all go out all the time.
And do you read them? Because I've never really got into cooking books.
I've got one that's on gut health, which is really important, not only for your physical health but your mental health, which will recommend various recipes that help with gut health. And it's really about being diverse in what you eat, and lots of fruit and veggies, just the the basics really. What was the question again? I've lost track.
It's all good, same. But I know fermented foods are really good for your gut.
Yeah, I've bought quite a few new books on fermentation lately. All that stuff. Craft is always a big one.
Knitting. I've seen lots of knitting books.
Knitting and crochet.
Yeah.
But I think that's also a good thing. It's not just about little old ladies crocheting booties. Yeah. I think it's all about the homemade process, like doing it yourself. And it's not just about like creating something. I mean, it is about creating. It's not just the end product. It's like it's almost meditative when you sit down and do something like crochet, or you produce something, you've done it by yourself, but you've also, it's kind of quite soothing, and there's that aspect of it as well. And I think any craft's like that. You get in the zone and can produce something beautiful, but also get something out of it spiritually as well. Yeah,
I think so. I've just started knitting for the last 2 weeks, and
really
every night, and while I've been sick, just going back to it, and it helps calm me down.
Yeah, definitely. So that's always really popular. And our history is always, there's a lot of stuff coming out. I think because of the people that have been through World War II are starting to, how can I put this politely, die. People that have been through the Holocaust. There's a lot of families discovering stuff from their own family members that have been through it, like whether it be letters or they're delving into their own family history because they've lost it, and they're coming out with what their relatives have been through in terms of the whole Holocaust. There's so much stuff, biographies, autobiographies, and I think the main thing that comes out of that is no matter how atrocious it was, how resilient people are to get through that. It's quite amazing how they survived and came through it and built their lives again. And but it also leaves that, I think it's a kind of, legacy of trauma through the generations that they're coming to the younger generations are coming to understand what it meant for their older relatives who went through it and what it means for the whole family. So that's coming out. I've seen there's so many books that are coming out from family members or from people who obviously are in their probably 90s, 80s, late 80s, who are writing about it. They must be older than that. No, they could be their age. Yeah, because there's still autobiographies coming out.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've seen quite a few come through.
Yeah. So history's still very much taken out. Yep.
What display do we have at the moment, Sally?
Okay, at the moment we have a display on Whangārei. I was trying to find a positive way to look at winter because it can be a bit of a downer, rain, it's cold, we're all inside. And so Whangārei is a Danish kind of philosophy that you look at, embrace kind of the nicer things about winter. So you can be inside and cozy and warm, and you can do indoor things as a family or by yourself. You can do crafts, you can cook comfort food, you can have a nice hot bath and soak in it. You can like sitting by the fire, having a hot drink. There's things that you can embrace about winter. We do feel a bit more miserable during winter. We're waiting for that sunlight to come out. So it's just a feeling of coziness and warmth and togetherness. You can sit as a family and watch a movie. So there's lots of things you can do in winter inside that can cheer you up.
That's lovely. I feel like we all need that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Sally.
That's quite all right.
The rounded end of the interview. There's a couple of things you mentioned just on the public suggesting to buy books, and I just wanted to say that they can do that through our website, so they can come into the library and tell us the title and the author, and we'll help you look it up and help you send in a form, or you can do that by yourself at home. And that when Sally is weeding the books, getting rid of the books, that they actually go on a discharge shelf and then the bookcase in the bottom of the library by the fish tank. So
and you can take, I think if they're hardcover, you get them for like 50 cents.
50 cents,
and there's some really good stuff that we try not to get rid of, older stuff that's of value, or if we don't have a lot on that subject. But sometimes we'll have duplicate copies of quite recent stuff that you can get on the discard trolley. The only other thing I want to add about suggestion to buy is that we have a criteria where we try not to buy things that have been published more than 10 years ago. So the likelihood is we may have even had that book, but we've since deleted it because we need to make way for new stuff. Obviously not stuff that's still going out heaps, we won't get rid of it, but just be aware that it needs to be published within the last 10 years. And if we don't have it, you can interloan it from another library in New Zealand, which is another subject again. But there's always the option of you will get what you need. We'll do our utmost to get what you need.
Wow, thank you. That sounds so lovely. It's nice to learn a little bit more about you, Sally.
That's okay. I hope I haven't been waffling on too much.
No. Just enough. And so
all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Oh, so that was Sally the non-fiction librarian, and you might see her upstairs straightening all the bookshelves and helping you find your next read.
Just ask her about the Dewey Decimal System and she'll put you right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zana. Orchid.
Can we dedicate a song to Sally?
I think so. And that's brought us to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. As we're talking,
Don.
I can hear the Don McGlashan sound system being tested.
And it's Fleetwood Mac, I think.
Yeah.
It must just be this Scott, the sound guy, testing the system.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know. But
Cool.
yeah, all right. Thanks for joining us, Laurel.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
See you again next time.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Cool.
I'll be here.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna dedicate Troy by Sinead O'Connor. Sally loves this song.
Awesome. All right, and that's the end of the shelf for today. We'll put the playlist on at the end of this track, and tune in a couple of weeks when we'll be doing our next version of the shelf.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us.
Ka kite.
Bye.
I remember it in Dublin in a rainstorm. We're sitting in